My mom and son came home after an overnight trip, and my son was bawling his eyes out. Apparently, he had wet the bed over there, and my mom found out and slapped my child. Good morning, Las Vegas, and everyone else. It is I, sick and tired, and today we are going to be looking at some Am I the Don't say it too loud, it's too early in the video. If you're enjoying my content, I would please ask you to subscribe. I'll never beg, but I am here for you 5 days a week. I do want to just take a second to say thank you to all my subscribers and thank you for all the kind words that I have been getting on my channel. It really means a lot to me and it really does help keep me going. Let's rock this bitch. Backstory. My boyfriend's grandpa passed away 4 days ago. When he passed, we met all of his family at a small ER to say our goodbyes. The ER made everyone wear masks due to sickness going around the hospital. So 2 days ago, I started to feel really bad body aches, sore throat, etc. Keep in mind, I'm 18 weeks pregnant. I told him how I felt and he basically said he doesn't want to get sick because his grandpa's funeral is coming up. I told him I was feeling weak as well as hungry and didn't want to drive myself home, then be hungry once I got there. I asked him if he was okay with helping me for the night and I'll leave in the morning. Basically just bring me some food to the room so I wouldn't contaminate any other areas of the house. He told me he had a lot on his mind and wasn't in the right headspace to help me, so I told him I understand and left. Okay. When I got home, I made something small to eat, then went to sleep. Yesterday morning, he calls and checks on me. I tell him how I feel more sick than when I left. He just says, okay. The rest of the day, he has family over until about 3 a.m., just offering their condolences and keeping his family company. Around 4 p.m., I called and asked him for help to see if he could bring me something to eat. Good God, woman, can you not get your own food? Because all I had the strength to get myself were just snacks like chips and cereal. Well, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do in tough circumstances. No real meals, and I wanted to make sure I had enough in me for the baby. He basically brushed me off saying he has no idea how he could help and said I was selfish for not thinking about him grieving and how he was stressed and had a million things on his mind. He also told me that I was being evil. Oh, well, I don't know about that, because I said he wasn't helping me at all. After that, I just hung up. He called me at 3 a.m. when everyone left to sleep on the phone with me, but hung up 20 minutes later, said he would call back, but didn't. Now I don't want to speak to him at all, but don't want to cause him more stress when he's already sad about his grandpa. You don't seem like you care that he's sad about his grandpa. I want to know if I'm an asshole for not respecting his time for grieving. Also, would I be an asshole for not talking to him today? I know how it feels to lose your grandpa when you're so close with him, but at the same time, I just asked for a little bit of help and don't feel like I was asking him for a lot. Most medications you can't take during pregnancy because they have bad side effects for the fetus. So I've just been waiting it out and he knows that as well. Okay, I think you are being a little bit of an asshole because this is what? 4 days ago. His grandpa passed away 4 days ago. And you are giving him so much shit because he won't run around and grab all your food for you? I know that you don't feel good. I get it. Trust me, I get it. But if you can tough it out just a little bit right now because his grandpa died and not talking to him, like his grandpa passed away, okay? You're being way too unreasonable and you need to let him grieve. It's not all about you. Am I the bad apple for losing my temper on my mom? Probably not, but in fairness, I'll read it. I, 39 male, have a son, 4, who has been having trouble with wetting his bed. We have been going to his doctor, but we don't know what health condition he might have, so I give my son extra love and attention, but my mom, 67, has been overstepping my boundaries. She gives me advice, and I've told her several times I don't need advice, but she, of course, never listens. But it all came crashing down Wednesday. My mom and son came home after an overnight trip, and my son was bawling his eyes out. Apparently, he had wet the bed over there, and my mom found out and slapped my child. And also spanked him twice. Fire and blood. I was pissed. We ended up in an argument and I did cuss her out and I slapped her too. What is going on? What's happening with these posts? Okay, I just had a video about a guy slapping his wife. Now we got a guy slapping his mom. When it's in the name of children, I'm okay with a slap, but what is happening here? I know I'm not proud of it. Nobody is proud of it, but you're defending your baby. But I was just so angry and she left. I found son on the couch crying and I comforted him, telling him it's okay and it's not his fault, which is very, very, very important that you told him that. That's good. We ended up watching some of my son's favorite films and ended up sleeping on the couch with my arms around his body, being very protective of him. But the next day I was bombarded with calls from my family to apologize to my mom. Slapping and spanking my son wasn't that bad, but me cussing her out and slapping her was very, very disrespectful. I mean, Two things can be true. And I owed her a gigantic apology. I just said F off and hung up. And me and my son had a fun day with us going to the park, going to the pool, watching his favorite animated movies, and ordering McDonald's and pulling an all-nighter. I smiled, seeing my son happy and having a fun time. I know I'm not, but I want some opinions. So am I the bad apple for losing my temper on my mom? Oh, well, he sounds convinced. He's like, I'm not the asshole. I just want to know if you guys think so. For some reason, hitting our children is more acceptable than hitting another person that's an adult. I don't really get that. To me, hitting a child is 10 times worse and is grounds for me to tie them up in my garage and torture them. I mean, that's just me personally. And I also have really bad relationship with my mom. So of course, I'm going to feel more empathetic for the dad here, but my sympathy is mostly with the child. This poor little kid, he's only 4 years old and he's getting screamed at for wetting the bed, something that happens that's very common with children. I mean, shit, I'm almost 40 and sometimes I pee myself just like laughing or sneezing, like accidents happen. Am I the asshole for being upset with my friend over cakes? Now, this one was really, really important to me. I didn't read it, but I saw this and then I saw the pictures, these two pictures in the top of the post, and I was instantly ready to just like ride or die fight with this cake decorator because I actually used to be a cake decorator. So this one is going to feel very personal. And I do want to just say on a side note, being a cake decorator, and you can probably relate if you like do nails or tattoos or anything like that, I fucking hate Pinterest. So I, 20 female, have 3 friends, Olivia, Bethan, and Lisa, fake names for privacy. I have been best friends with Lisa since secondary and have recently become friends with Olivia and Bethan, but I did know them in school. Olivia has a 1-year-old child, and most nights of the week, Lisa, Bethan, and I all go over to her house when we can. However, due to work and university and clubs, my visits may only be once a week, but this has never been a problem. Now, this is where it starts, as back in February, Olivia told me that they were planning a christening for their child and her mom's child, they're the same age, in September, and asked if I could make 2 cakes and cupcakes as I make custom cakes for family and friends and only ever ask for money towards the ingredients. Ooh. Really? So, because it was a big order, I quoted around 100, I'm guessing that's pounds, and Olivia was okay with it. Fast forward to beginning of August, and we start talking about the cakes and flavors and designs and everything, and the topic of price comes up. For what they wanted, I would have to buy quite a lot of ingredients and supplies, including cake boxes, boards, cake toppers, and a custom fondant stamp with the kids' names on it for the 48 cupcakes. So when Olivia and her mom asked about the price, I quoted them from 90 to 95, which for what they wanted and what I needed to buy was a reasonable estimate, but they said it was a lot of money for some cakes. Once you start putting fondant on stuff, the price gets really, really expensive. So I said I'd go home and work out the exact price, but that came out to 115. But as a student, I could not afford to buy everything first, so needed to ask for half upfront to cover the costs. So today I texted our group chat and asked if I could come around to visit to hang out with them, but also talk about the cakes in person. However, Olivia said no, but I could come on Wednesday, as she said she was tired. So I said, feel better soon, and moved on and decided to message her privately about the cakes instead. During this time, I noticed that Lisa and Beth Ann were at Olivia's house, as we have a Life 360 group, and seeing they were there when I was told I couldn't go made me feel a bit left out. So when Olivia texts me back, I asked to call to talk about the price and the money up front, and Olivia doesn't sound happy, but says she will call her mom to see what she thinks. I think this is crazy to me because making a cake is really expensive. If you are making it from scratch and like I said, she's decorating it too, like all this, yeah, it's expensive. And people want you to just do this stuff. That'd be like me going to my sister who does hair and just asking her to do it for free. She has to buy all the supplies. No way, you would be out so much money if you did that. After she talks to her mom, I get a message saying, hi, leave the cakes, we can't afford them. So I call her again to discuss some other options, but I don't get to say them as on the call she constantly talks over me and is a bit rude about dismissing any ideas I put forward, such as cutting down the order or her buying cakes from a supermarket. And I would decorate them, but she said my mom's dealing with it, so we don't want the cakes. Okay, well, problem solved. Now this is where I might be a bit of an asshole. I then asked Olivia how she was feeling, and she said she felt loads better. When I said that's great, guess you're just chilling with Lisa and Beth Ann, which she replied with, yes, we are, not acknowledging that she said I couldn't come. So being a bit pissed off and on the verge of crying, I said, have a good night without me, and hung up. I know this isn't a great way to react, and I do regret how I said it, but then soon after Olivia called me back berating me down the phone saying how dare I hang up on her. really, and that she can have whoever she wants in her house and it's no concern of mine, and that she was tired and that Lisa and Beth Ann were there to help and I wasn't there often enough, so it shouldn't matter. So I apologize, saying I'm sorry, that I shouldn't have jumped to conclusions, but she hung up on me and I probably deserve that. No, I don't think I would have been pissed off too. I don't think you did anything wrong. Now I know I'm not entitled to go over whenever I'm free, but I was just feeling hurt to be left out when everyone was there. But even more hurt that she had said I could make these cakes for months, then pulling them away 3 weeks before they were due, even though I told her a similar price back in February and said it more than likely wouldn't change. And now I'm scared all 3 of them will be mad at me, not just Olivia, and will freeze me out over this. Am I the asshole? No, not even close. If they were my friends and you know that they're kind of pissed off about the price of the cakes and now they're all over there, I mean, come on. Like, I would be pissed off too. You're not the asshole. I don't know why people think that they're entitled to stuff for free just because they're friends or family. Like, you have to pay for all that and it's expensive. And what do you get out of it? You don't get anything out of it. So I saw the title for this one. It's not Am I the Asshole? It's Off My Chest. I thought it was really funny, but let's see if the whole thing is funny. It just reminded me of my husband. My husband's alarms are killing me. Oh my God, I know the feeling. Why is it that some people set like 20 alarms before they have to get up? My husband, he'll have them like 4:30, 4:35, 4:40, 4:45. Now that's an exaggeration, but he does have a lot of alarms like that. I'm not like that. I'm somebody that sets one time. I set my alarm for 4 a.m, goes off, I get up, and that's it. I can't do the whole snooze thing. It just makes me even more tired. Husband has to be up at 6, so his alarm starts at 5. I don't have to be up until 7:30. He has 2 alarms that alternate. A sunrise alarm that makes the whole room light as day, and a cell phone alarm that he must have at full volume. I'm a very light sleeper and he's a heavy sleeper. I have 2 words for you. Separate bedrooms. I've actually been thinking about this. I know I've always been against it, but now that I'm older and I have really bad back problems, separate bedrooms isn't sounding so bad anymore. He games in the bedroom while I'm trying to fall asleep. Oh, well, that's just rude. Then I wake up multiple times at night to him doing things in his sleep. Then his alarms start going off at 5 a.m. After about 3 or 4 snoozes, he starts playing YouTube videos on his phone, laying in bed and letting more alarms go off. Good God. Then when he finally gets up, he flashes his flashlight around to get dressed while groaning loudly. It's so hard not to feel like he's doing it on purpose to wake me up. God, I hope not. Like I said, separate bedrooms. I am cranky every single day. Then he is upset with me for being cranky because all he wants is to come home to a happy, loving wife. Oh God. No matter how perfect your life is, sometimes you just ain't gonna come home to that anyway. Like his friends who apparently brag about their wives to him. And I can only imagine what he says about me. He has implied that I shouldn't mind being up at that time anyway because it's unfair that, oh, whatever. Oh, shut up. You do not have to be up at that time just because of him. That is such a childish thing to say. I have tried my best not to be accusatory and just ask him if there is a solution that he could tolerate or some kind of compromise. I said I really need to sleep better. These are the options that I proposed. What is happening? This is so stupid. One option, I'm sleeping in the guest room. End of story. No gaming in the bedroom so I can fall asleep earlier. This solution was not an option for him because the bedroom is more comfortable than the couch. Don't care. That is just rude that he's playing video games while you're trying to sleep. And if he has the option to play somewhere else, yeah, that's fucked up. Try to wake up to 1 or 2 alarms instead of many. This wasn't an option for him because he really wants to wake up slowly. Once he wakes up enough to watch YouTube, taking it downstairs. He didn't want to do this because the only reason he's watching YouTube is because he doesn't need to be out of his bed yet. Tough shit. If it's bothering you and keeping you awake, he can go watch YouTube downstairs. Me sleeping downstairs in the living room on the couch. He was upset at this suggestion because he didn't want to look like an asshole sleeping in our full-size bed while I'm on the couch. He also hates the idea of sleeping separate. It makes him sad. Did you tell him that all of the stuff he's doing makes you sad? And it makes him feel like our relationship is ending. Oh, what a bitch. Getting him a smartwatch with a silent alarm. He didn't want to do this because he doesn't believe it will wake him up and he'd rather spend that money on a million other things. Actually, I don't even know what that is, so I can't even comment. Since I have brought this up so many times and asked about changing so many things, he believes that I can never be satisfied, even though he hasn't actually made any changes. He's overwhelmed by the fact that I made so many suggestions. I really do want to be the happy, loving wife that he'd love to come home to. Why? So I've decided to pick up my childhood twin bed for my parents and set up a spot for myself in the computer room. I know that he will have anxiety over this choice and probably be cranky and upset for a while, but I think long term he will notice how much better it is. Yeah, I think you've made the right call. Don't be afraid to tell him, this is what I want. This is what I need. This is what I need to be able to get a good night's sleep. You don't really give two shits if I do. This is what I'm doing, and I'm not going to change it. Just because you're married doesn't mean that you lose individuality and that you aren't still your own person that gets to make your own decisions. So you get that, twin. You put it in the computer room and you get a good night's sleep. This last post that I saw, it's not an am I the asshole, it's a confession. But when I saw it, I just started cracking up. I haven't tipped in the last 3 years and I don't give a fuck. Tipping culture is out of control here in America. There's places where it's appropriate to tip, I feel, and places where it's not. How about we just start paying people enough to where the rest of us don't have to make up for their wages? We're all struggling, right? Except the people that don't want to pay them. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox now, and that's all I've got. So if you like this video, click here. I think you'll like this one too. If you can't get enough of Am I the Asshole? And I will see you guys next time. Until then, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope that your symptoms are low, and I hope your magic is strong. Bye, babes.